Hey guys, welcome back to Church Talk. I know I've made a couple of videos on leading from the acoustic guitar or just playing the acoustic guitar. So today I wanted to just share with you guys what strings I'm using. I've had a lot of beginners, and not so much only beginners, but a lot of people that's been playing for a while ask me what strings am I using on my guitar, and do I like them, and what do I recommend? So you can see the guitar I'm playing is a Taylor. That's what I use every week, every Wednesday, every Sunday. It's my go-to guitar. I really like it, and I think if I believe right, if I remember right, I have ever only used the same strings on this guitar. I think when I first got it, it was like back in 2013, I believe. Whatever strings were on it, I kept them on it for a while because they were new. But when I changed strings, I went with the Elixir brand. I've always used the Nano Web. Now these are lights, so they're 12 through 53s. This is what I've used for years. They are a little bit more expensive than a lot of other strings, but they do last longer. And so I'll give you my reasons why I like these, and what I don't like about, well, actually I don't like anything about these elixirs, but there is one that's called the Polyweb. Those I'm not really a fan of. What'll happen with those strings, they sound good. There's nothing wrong with the sound of them, but after they begin to wear out, the coating on the string begins to come apart, begins to unravel, and your string starts looking real fuzzy looking, and it looks like it's shedding. I guess it's shedding that poly coating on it, I guess. They sound great, but I just don't really like how it looks when they begin to wear. But the NanoWeb does not do that, so that's why I've always get the NanoWeb, not the Polyweb. But say they are a little bit more expensive, but they are worth it. They are very buttery feeling, if that makes sense to any of you guys. If you're not a guitarist, that may not make any sense, but it's very smooth, especially when they're new. When they begin to wear out, they're still a little softer than other strings that I've found. But they do sound good all the way through their life expectancy, and even past that. I usually try to replace mine. I probably should do it more often than I do, but I usually get about 6 months out of a set of strings. Now, if you're playing a lot, if you're on tour or something, it's going to be a whole lot more than that. But if you are playing in a local church or small church, and you're doing a few songs on Sunday, and you're doing maybe a rehearsal through the week or a practice through the week, and then maybe a song or two or a few songs on Wednesday, and also depends on the style of music that you play. If you're really strumming, you're really beating that guitar, then yeah, you might need to replace them sooner. But I don't really play super hard. There has been times I've broken several strings. Usually it's you would think it would be the high E, but I've broken the B string and the G. Those are usually, I think I've broken the D string a few times as well, but most of the time it's the G or the B. And I don't know why it's usually those. I don't know if that's just kind of where my strum is the strongest. I don't know. But these things they last me in normal use about 6 months, and they still sound good at the end of the 6 months. I just know I can feel that they're not as slick and they're not as crisp as what I like, as what I want them to be, and they're probably over their life expectancy, but they still sound good. And then whenever I replace them, then I can hear, oh wow, these new strings sound so much better than the old. They were really needing to be replaced. But I can't really hear, because a lot of times with normal strings, they sound dead when they start to be worn out, and it seems like it happens pretty quick. And they feel real hard on my fingers. They just feel difficult on my fingers. It's not that soft that soft touch. So I like a real bright sounding, crisp sound to my guitar. So that's what I've been using for years and years. So at least I've probably been using these for at least 15 to 20 years. And like I say, when I got my Taylor, that's the only thing that's ever been on it. I'm sold on these things. They're really nice. So I do recommend, if you are an acoustic guitarist, if you like a bright sound, try these out and see if you like them. And say, I'll put a link to these in the description, so you can see what you can try them out and see if you like them. And say, those are what I always use. So that's my recommendation on it. So you guys that's asked me in the past, hey, what strings are you using? It's the Elixir Nano Web. So, and the gauge that I use is 12 through 53. It's a light gauge. Maybe you guys can see that, but that's what I've been using now for years. Like I say, I get about 6 months out of them on a normal wear and tear or normal schedule. Sometimes I'll do a little bit, sooner than 6 months, and there are times I'll let it go for maybe 8 or 9 months, and it's really needing to be replaced. But depending on if I'm leading from the keyboard or if I'm playing guitar, or it just really depends on a lot of variables there. But they stay in tune really good. And I know sometimes your tune is your guitar. It's not so much your strings. But when you put, what I found is I've had some cheaper guitars that I've put these Elixir strings on, and it makes that cheaper guitar sound really good. And you can put some junky strings on a really good guitar, and you make the guitar sound worse than what it should be sounding because of the strings that's on it when they wear out really quickly, or they're not as bright as what you're looking for. And some of this is a personal preference thing as well. I realize that. So I just wanted to make this video and let you guys know, when you're playing in a church, if you want that, or if you're not playing in a church, this subject goes beyond just church music. But if you're playing anywhere, I like these strings really well. They've been really good for me. I'm going to continue to use them. I'm not even really testing out any other brand. I found what I like. So the Elixir Nano Web is the way to go for me. So check that out in the description and see what you think about them, and comment and let me know. So that brings us to the next question is, well, what do you use on your electric, or what does your electric guitarist use? And our electric guitarist is my son, and he's actually using my old guitar. It's a Gibson Les Paul purchased back in 1992, so it's an older one, and I actually like it better than I have a Les Paul as well. It's usually hanging up on the wall, but my youngest son is playing it. It's in his room, and he's been jamming on it for a while. So I think I bought it in like 2016, 17, somewhere around there. Maybe like 18. I don't remember. But anyway, it's a relatively new guitar, and I actually like the old 1992 Les Paul better than the new one. I don't know if it's just where, I've put so many years on it and wore it down, and it feels just really comfortable, and he actually likes that one better too, so he's using it. But what strings do we use on the Les Paul is the Ernie Ball Super Slinky. Actually, these are the regular Slinkies. They're 10 through 46. So it's in this bright greenish yellow pack. I've used these things for probably 25 years. That's my go-to for the electrics. I'm sure there's a lot of great strings out there, but for me, this is my go-to. Once I find something I like, I really don't continue to search for something. So this is what I've been using for a long time. They stretch really well. I don't know if I've ever broken an electric string. These things have a really good stretch on them. They stay in tune really well. And that's what I was saying a moment ago about the Elixirs, is that most of the time when I go to tune up after we get to church and get everything out and get everything prepped, there's not a whole lot of tuning that I have to do. And like, that could be just the Taylor, but it also, I think it has to do with the strings. So I think when you have a good, solid, quality guitar and you put good quality strings on it, you're not going to have to tune up a whole lot. I mean, unless you're going in and out of the weather and there's humidity factors and things like that, but you have it in the case and you go from your house to the church or whatever. I haven't really had to tune up a whole lot. Always tune before we get started on rehearsal, and then usually check it afterwards, and I don't really have an issue with a tune. So I credit that to the guitar, but also I credit it to the strings. And the Ernie Balls are the same, except for when you're bending a lot of strings. If I'm playing lead, I will notice that when I bend a string a lot, and I don't play lead a whole lot anymore. I don't really play the electric too much anymore. But when I do, or when I did, if I would bend the strings a lot, I would notice I would have to go back and retune. And on an electric, it's not that difficult because you can just silence everything, and while you're tuning, nobody's hearing what you're doing. So electric is a little bit easier to tune, like between songs or in a part of the song you don't need to be playing or whatever. Acoustic, not so much. Everybody hears you trying to tune the guitar, so you got to make sure that is staying in tune your entire set, if at all possible. But sometimes you do have to tune mid set. That's happens sometimes, but usually when you get quality stuff, you don't have to do that. And that's what I found with the Elixir and the Ernie Ball. Both is they are good quality strings. It's what I've been using for a long time, and it's what I do recommend for anybody that asks me, hey, what strings do you use? Elixir for the acoustic, Ernie Ball for regular slinky for the electric. And guys, that's it. That's today's video. Just wanted to share with you guys what I'm using. If this is the type of content that you like, be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and if you're not already, or even if you are already, make sure that you are still subscribed, because I've heard some other YouTube users say sometimes YouTube, I guess they have some bots or something. I don't know what all's going on there, but they say to make sure that you check and make sure that you are subscribed, because sometimes it will unsubscribe you. So make sure that you're doing that as well. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell so you'll be notified when I make new videos or upload new videos, and we'll see you guys next time on Church Talk.